Okay, let's jump into the exercise. All right, now I'm on my home page of my website. If you were to log in, okay, so I already have a profile set up. So when you log in, you want to go to Spaces and then go to Exercises. And the exercise that we're using for this is exercise number 4. Okay, it says moving from Classic to Data Prep Studio. All right, so the files you need, they're all here. You can go ahead and download them all. I already have them downloaded, and so what we'll do is um, we'll get started after you've downloaded them, right? Um, okay, and then let's see. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so I'm gonna bring my folder here. All right, again, of course, I already have them downloaded, and we're going to start with a blank Data Prep Studio window. Okay, now, all right, so now let's talk about importing these Monarch Classic files. So see here, I have a model and I have a project. All right, now I could import both. Okay, you can import a project, you could import a model, but let's just go step by step. We're just going to import the classic file. Now, how do we do that? Um, One way, what I like to do is I like to just drag and drop. So I can drag and drop the classic model here onto the canvas in Data Pipe Studio, and it will import the model. Okay. Now, another approach, what we could have done is we could have gone to Add, Monarch File, Model, and then you would click on Get Data over here, and then it would it would open up the your browser and then you would just browse to the file. Both work fine. Okay, so I've dragged it in. Then similarly, you can drag and drop a text file or the report that will go with the model. Now you have to do it in DataPipe Studio. You have to do it right on top of the table. All right, so here in DataPipe Studio, that's the table representing the model. And if you notice, when I hover over it, there's like a green, um, these green dots around the box, just kind of letting you know that you're going to apply it to the target. So if I um, drag it over there and I let it go, then you will see that it will work. And everything we did in Classic is here. Everything. Okay, I'll show you that in a few seconds here. Um, So again, if I didn't want to drag and drop, I could have also clicked on the drop down and go to add report, right? And it'll say from local, and I would click on this and then I would just browse to get the file. Okay, so those are the two ways you can import a file. Okay, now what came in here from Classic? All right, so I'm going to show you that everything that was in Classic is here as well. So of course, here are all the templates. If I wanted to modify a template, I would just click on the drop down here and go to Edit and Report Design. Okay, and then what that will do is it'll open up a new window. And in that new window, the report design window, I can see all the templates that were built in Classic, and I could build new ones and I can modify them, right? All right, so I can see all of that. Over here on the right, what you see is the change history. So it says Monarch import, but see, it imported everything that was done in that classic model. Okay, and so these are all changes that are applied in the table view. So if you built filters, so you're wondering, hey, where are my filters? I have filters in my model. Those will show up in the analyze view. So if I go here and analyze, I will see the summaries. So these are all the different summaries. So if I change it to no summary, I will be able to apply all of my filters that were previously in Classic. Okay. Okay. All right. So, whoops. Let me go back. Okay. Now, so far, so good, right? We've imported the Classic model. Now, remember, normally from here, we would then have taken this and copied and pasted this into the Excel file. Okay. All right. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to um, replicate these formulas and rep and uh, rebuild these three pivot tables, and that's it. That's it. Now, again, we're doing this the easy way. Okay, just to, again, it's illustrative. But again, Monarch has a lot of capability, so it's good to keep it simple, just so that you get the idea. All right, so in the Excel file, when we would copy and paste um, from the Excel file, sorry, from Monarch Classic into the Excel file, all these different formulas would pop up. So we're going to rebuild these ones here. All right. So let's start with this one. This one here is the calculated amount. All right, no problem. So we're going to come back here. Oops. Uh, I'm just going to scroll over here, and I'm going to click on the drop down. We're going to go to column, a new formula column, and this will be, what did we call it? I think we called it calculated amount, right? And that was just basically a quantity. So I could double click to add the quantity here, and then I could either type the asterisk for multiplied by unit price. I think that's right. Okay. All right. So we're gonna click OK, and Monarch will create that column. And let's go ahead and format that. Okay. So I'm gonna click on the drop down. I go to Format, Currency. I click OK, and there it is. And I don't know if you caught that. These two new changes that we just applied, that we just made, Monarch is recording those in the change history. All right, let's keep going. So we've done the calculated amount and we formatted it. I think the next column was a variance. Let me double check. Yeah, so it's a variance, basically checking that the calculated amount matches the amount from the report. All right, so I go here, I click on the drop down again, I go to column, new formula column, and I think we called it variance, and we're going to do amount minus calculated amount, right? Okay. Um, don't worry about these. These look like rounding errors. We're going to format this. If we just format it as currency, there we go. We could round it, but this is fine. All right. So far, so good. So let me go back. Okay. So we've done that so far. Then the next thing is we have an if statement that basically says, hey, if the amount is zero, if it's greater than zero, um, then um, it's credit, otherwise it's debit. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to copy this formula. I'm going to copy this formula from Excel. And I'm going to go here and create a new formula column. And I think we called it debit credit. I think that's what we called the column. Let me double check that. Yes, debit credit. Okay, debit credit. Now I'm going to paste that formula in here. And I'm going to get an error. Say, okay, well, hey, Monarch doesn't understand the syntax. So in Monarch, you don't need an equal sign. And then for the fields, I have my data in Excel in a table. I don't need this at sign. Okay, so if you don't have a table, maybe you have a cell range or something, or just so you would just change, or just maybe a specific cell. But whatever it is, like if, for example, if this was E5, I would change that and just plug in delete and double click and plug in the field name. So in Monarch, it's like a database, right? So it gives you field names. So I just plug in the field name and there you go. Everything works. So it's almost like we took a formula in Excel and just changed customized it a little bit so that it would work here in Monarch. All right. And so far that looks really good in my preview. Okay. All right. So I click OK and there it is. There's the debit and credit column. All right. Okay. Let's keep going. Almost done. Then we'll do the next three columns here and then we'll pause and then we'll go to then we'll finish up with the pivot tables. All right, so the next three columns are lookups. You know what, actually, let's um, let's pause here and we'll break it up in parts. So we'll pause here and then the next video we'll tackle these next three.